So Justin, I thought it might help if I recorded on the screen creating assignments and then tying them to the gradebook. So what I'm doing here is clicking assignments, and whoops. Well, I'll just show you one assignment here, but to create an assignment we would be in the Build tab, not the Teach tab. So let's see this assignment. No, this isn't very useful. So let's go back over to the Build tab. And here we can look at a given assignment. So when we create an assignment, we give it a title. This is what students see. Occasionally I'll use a description, but often not. You'll have some options to choose whether students will be submitting a file or whether they'll submit a URL. The date information. You'll notice here when you choose dates, you can also choose to have it show up in a course calendar. If you use it, you should use it consistently because students will then rely on the course calendar and they'll assume nothing's due if there's nothing on the calendar. So be careful using this. And then what you're most interested in is the grading. So some assignments you may not want to submit a grade for, and so you would uncheck this box. Anything that you check allow assignment to be graded, this connects up to the gradebook. Here you can customize the gradebook title. This is what students see in their My Grades. This is also what you'll see in that gradebook. You can grade assignments, but temporarily or permanently not allow the grade to be released to the students. I typically will uncheck this while I'm in grading mode. So I don't want, 3 students to see their grade and tell their friends the grades are up when I haven't finished grading. You can choose to grade, say, out of a maximum number of points. You can give alphanumeric grades, or you can do something that's called grade by grading form. If you want to use a grading form, this is sometimes known as a rubric, you would have had to create that first. But I'll just, since I'm making this up, I'll select one that I've created before. So this was my sim project grading form, and it's fairly painful to set these up because it's very tedious. The interface isn't very robust, but once you have it set up, then it's pretty easy to use to evaluate. It also provides meaningful feedback to the students without you having to repeat yourself hundreds of times. So if you want to use a grading form, you have to have created that first, and then you can select it. Some other options. This I almost always enable, where I allow students to recognize they had an oops and then take their work back, unsubmit it, and then fix it and submit again. This also allows me to invite them to send me rough drafts, which I can then send back to them. I recommend that you select only the instructor can publish submissions. What this means is if you want to make certain completed assignments visible to all other students as good examples, you could do that, but you're not allowing students to make that choice. I often will select this option to notify me when an assignment is submitted, particularly if I'm inviting students to do rough drafts, because I won't know if they have or when they have. But if I have something with a particular due date and I'm not likely to forget that either, then I turn that off. So if we go back to assignments here, when you create a brand new assignment, so this will be my sample if you want a description, and you can also hide the assignment until you're ready to have it show up. So you may be evaluating just how you want to set it up, or you may have an attachment that isn't quite ready yet, so you want to hide it from students until it's really ready to go. Here is where you choose whether students will submit a file. It doesn't have to be a text file. It could be Excel, it could be PowerPoint, it could be SimProject, but the point is they'll be submitting a file, or whether they'll be submitting a zip file that has links in it. Assignments always remain hidden until you decide to whom to issue the assignment. So you can create an assignment for students to do individually. And if you do that, you could create special instructions for some of the groups, or if it's a group assignment, you can make the assignment appear for groups, in which case you get this pop-up window and you select the groups of students who should see the assignment. But until you decide who will get the assignment, it will always remain hidden. Here's where you choose your due dates. Cutoff date means that assignments cannot be submitted after that time. So if I have a specific time of day that I'm interested in, I'll typically give like a 15 or 30-minute leeway. I never use 12 p.m. Actually, scientifically, there's no such thing as 12 p.m. It's either 12 noon or 12 midnight, but I'll use 11:59 just so that there's absolutely no question about what time an assignment is due. So it might be 11:59 p.m. on a given date. This is where you choose how the assignment will be graded. And if you expand to more options, this is where you see the other settings. So I'm going to cancel this. And I mentioned if you want to use a grading form, you have to create it first. So we're still in the Build tab, but down below there's an item called Grading Form, and you'll see what the interface is. So this is the form for assignment of type X. And I'll typically use an assignment for, or a grading form for a certain type of assignment. Occasionally I'll have to create one-off grading forms, but they're painful to create, so I try to reserve them for when, for example, you might have 3 or 4 deliverables against their final project, and this might be what you use. Everything here that shows a little pencil is editable, so I never grade on spelling, grammar, and style. I might have a category called readability that includes all of that. And even for graduate students, I find that it's necessary to have points associated to readability. You can add more performance indicators. I don't like these indicators here, so you'll see in my samples that I've used other things. Students tend to look for maximum points, and in my mind that doesn't mean it's exceptional work. That may mean that they've met all the requirements. So you can play around with points here, and the total will calculate automatically based on that. Once you save this grading form, then it becomes available for you to connect it up. So you get some error message if you don't really fill it out, so I'll cancel. Just to show you an example, these are my performance indicators. You might want to slice things more finely. The goal is to make this easy for you when you do the grading. Once the grading form has been designed, even if you've used it before, once you see students' assignments, you might recognize that you want to change the points, or maybe the explanations aren't specific enough, so you can come in and edit that as well. Students, unfortunately, can't see grading forms until they have a graded assignment. So I want them to see the grading forms, so I'll often do a print screen such that they can see the form and know what I'll be looking for. I think that's fair. So I hope this helps, and if it still makes sense for us to get together as you work through this, I'd be happy to, and we can be in touch by email so I know whether you'd like to do that.